Why do we travel? It's a question I asked many tourists as I was making my way around Southeast Asia. And many of them told me it was to learn about the authentic cultures of countries across the world.
The skin, making curry paste, the skin.
But the more I travel, the more I realise that those reasons which we tell ourselves often don't match the reality that we experience.
As like the consumer who comes from privilege, the shapes, like your preferences have an impact on the rest of the world because your dollar is strong, like your currency is stronger than the rest of the world.
The foundational structures that once defined tourism are changing. We're being boxed in by structures designed to funnel us into the same places, the same photos, and the same experiences.
Tell that so much of the economy is geared towards appeasing the desires of the foreign visitors who come here, since there's so many.
And so we're faced with a choice, not between travelling or not, but between moving through places passively or questioning the very structures that tell us how to travel. My journey began in the tourist hub of Southeast Asia, Bangkok. Over just 4 days, it became very clear that much of the city had adapted itself around tourism, and I quickly grew used to the collision of two worlds, my own, represented by clubs and bars and Western food on every corner, and the unfamiliar realm of golden temples, crocodile skewers, electric colour, and a fearless approach to road safety.
I'm about to enter the pavilion behind me, which is home to the largest Buddha in Bangkok. It's a reclining Buddha and it extends the entire length of this pavilion. And what's really interesting is that at every entrance to the pavilion, you have these guards, which came from China supposedly in the 19th century. Inside there is a tradition apparently where you're meant to put coins into metal monk bowls, and this is supposed to bring luck.
Whilst there were many places in the city that seemed curated for the tourists, I felt that the temples and royal complexes still held on to a degree of authenticity beyond their crowded entrances, forming the glowing heart of Bangkok.
As a tourist, I had to pay 500 baht to come in here, and I assume that money goes towards a lot of the restorations which you can see are going on around the complex right now. There is a sort of symbiotic relationship between the tourists and the Thai people, that tourists come in, they bring their money, but that is used for restoration and preservation purposes. Thai people, for example, can come in for free. And I think that just shows the country is trying to pass down the heritage, the culture and the history to the future generations of the Thai people, because they are just so proud of what an amazing country and what amazing history this place does have.
But whilst there was some recognition for the cultural and spiritual significance of Bangkok's temples, I can't say that this acknowledgement spread far beyond the capital. In many other locations, tourism dominated so much that Thailand's rich culture was buried from view.
So I first arrived in Pai, and walking down the street, everyone on the street was a foreigner. White, European or Israeli. So walking down Pai, I'm like, okay, where are the local people? And then walking down the streets too, when I first got out of the bus, it's like the food that is available. Maybe there's one Thai restaurant on the block. Everything else is like burgers, pizza, bars, like clubs in this tiny little town, which is crazy to me. And so it's just, you can just tell, it's just like catered to this desire. And then there's this other part of Pai that was like, it's super hippie, like everyone's smoking weed and there's dispensaries everywhere. Like you're walking down the street, you pass 7 dispensaries, but you pass one Thai restaurant.
Thailand's attraction as a tourist destination began around 1960 during the Vietnamese War, when Bangkok was used as an air hub, And so infrastructure improved across Thailand, leading to a massive growth in tourist attraction, which has been growing since. But as I visited, I became more and more concerned about the infiltration that tourism is now having on the authenticity of Thai culture. And it was particular areas, like Pai, that were testament to its disappearance.
This Chinese village was created in the 20th century by Chinese refugees after the Mao Revolution. But what I feel like I've walked into is a big playground. You see people riding horses, playing archery, trying on traditional costume. None of what I'm actually experiencing feels very real. It all feels very artificial and completely taken out of context.
This artificiality extended beyond the creation of tourist attractions. In many places, the beauty of natural landscapes and wildlife was tainted by its commodification for tourism.
Everything that I've seen today of this whistle stops tour of Pai and around Pai has just been made for tourists. Right now I'm at this beautiful natural canyon, but I had to pay to come in. And I think by putting this value on something that's completely priceless, it means that as tourists we have some sort of expectation to get something in return beyond this natural beauty. And so I think that encourages, for example, the building of coffee shops, of food stores, of trinket stores, of toilets. That not only brings in more tourists, but also for me takes away the natural value of what I'm seeing, and it just makes it really artificial.
As someone who has, and we talked about this, who has been raised by people who, when they travel, the purpose of their traveling is for cultural immersion and to experience like this raw side of the world, the one that's not curated for tourists. It's hard to not attach like a negative outlook to it because of my personal relationship with that. However, I'm trying to challenge myself to see the benefit of it. You cannot look at the negative without understanding the incentive and like the positive, and that is economic opportunity for people. Like tourism is a major industry in the world, right? And countries literally compete for tourism, for foreign tourism.
In 2030, tourism in Thailand is expected to make up for 30% of the country's GDP. And whilst this does offer undeniable financial benefit to Thai people, even locals are starting to recognise the strain that visitors have on cultural preservation.
สวัสดีครับ Hi guys สวัสดีครับ My name is Happy I'm from Thailand yeah to be honest I'm not a solo traveler but I've been traveled to many places like such as Bangkok and Phuket. It seems a lot of tourists coming to Thailand, especially in Bangkok and Phuket. Right now, if you compare to the past few years ago, now we have lots of tourists coming. Talking about the good things about the tourists. The tourists come to Thailand, they bring very, like, to be honest, good money, good economy to Thailand. But in another hand, however, I recommend you guys should learn Thai culture or Thai tradition because you and I, we are different. But since you come to travel to Thailand, you will have to respect the people you don't know. So in some way, somehow, they don't just like talk bad about the monk or whatever. So my opinion doesn't bad in the bad way, but in the good way also you bring a lot of good vibes to Thailand. Good vibes to Thailand. Yes, I mean that.
For me, the issue seems rooted in the mindset of many modern travellers. Social media is now being used as a trusted travel guide by young travellers. Influencers build careers by portraying countries as idyllic destinations, directing their audiences where to go and how to experience them. The result is a self-perpetuating cycle of inauthentic travel. As visitor numbers rise, destinations inevitably adapt to meet tourist demand, becoming progressively less authentic. With each new wave of visitors, more content is generated, and the cycle continues.
It's hard to say whether or not the answer is, okay, for people who have trouble taking risks and doing this kind of travel, then they shouldn't travel at all? Or is there a benefit in them traveling but going to these places that have been curated for them that give them a semblance of comfort? right? What's the value of allowing people to do so? There's a value on the local economy. It becomes a major part of how people make money. And I hope that even the people in a place like this still learn a little bit and can maybe learn that the way that they're traveling matters.
Although Gabby may be right that almost any form of travel brings about some benefit to both tourists and the country, I remain convinced that by jumping off the mainstream bandwagon, we might discover value that we never expected. For the rest of my journey, I wanted to explore how the way in which we travel and the attitudes that we carry with us truly matter, influencing not only our own personal growth, but also the cultural and economic well-being of the communities that we encounter.
And I think the only way to truly experience a culture in a more traditional and authentic way is to immerse yourself fully within it, looking at it from an inside-out perspective rather than being an observer looking in. And only then do I think we have the best chance of experiencing the more unique and less material aspects of cultures, which I think make up the majority of a true authentic experience. So I've just arrived at the Wat Pa Tamwa monastery here in northern Thailand. We're in the Mae Hon Son province, so in the middle of the mountains. I've only been here for about 15 minutes, but it's already fascinating just watching from the deck of my balcony what everyone here is doing. Most people are just walking around in silence. So far, I haven't seen anyone with somebody else. Everyone's walking alone, so there's very much this sense of solitude. Clearly, people really trying to reach that state of enlightenment, which, according to the Buddhist practice, can only be done by yourself and not by anyone else. I'm only here for 2 days, so certainly not enough time to reach any sort of enlightenment, especially given that some people take their entire lives practicing Buddhism to reach that mental state and that clarity and tranquility. But I think it'll be a very interesting couple of days and certainly very challenging.
Each day we followed the monks' strict rhythm of life. It started at dawn with a rice offering ceremony for the monks who can only eat what is given to them. After that came a 2-hour meditation session. The first hour was walking meditation, slowly circling the monastery and following in the footsteps of the person in front of you, focusing on the rise and fall of each step. The second hour was spent practicing sitting and lying meditation. At 11 a.m. we had our second and final meal of the day, simple vegan food prepared by volunteers. The afternoon brought more meditation, followed by some free time. But even then we were expected to give something back to the monastery, whether that meant sweeping, cooking, or helping out wherever was needed. The day then ended with chanting and one final meditation.
This is a good mind. The good mind not attached to the thought. Nature of our mind is attached. Now we train to not attach. When you see the thought is that, or the thought is that I am here, so I'm not attached. Now this is a good thing.
Before arriving at the monastery, I had the impression that Buddhism was a very complex practice, but it really boils down to very simple ideas, that we need to purify the mind from all of our thoughts, which are always kind of contaminated with defilements, with greed, with desires, which ultimately lead to suffering. And so through mindfulness, through meditation, we're able to free ourselves and detach ourselves from those thoughts, which will ultimately lead to a state of enlightenment and nirvana, which also means liberation.
3 days of reflection led me to develop a newfound respect for Buddhism. My immersed experience at the monastery encouraged me to explore the religion far more deeply, prompting visits to several other Buddhist temples and sites across Thailand, where I was able to fully appreciate the practice's rituals and atmosphere in a far more meaningful way. Continuing my effort to experience Thailand through a more sustainable and respectful form of tourism, I travelled into the northern hills, where I learnt about the way of life of the Hmong people, the second largest hill tribe in Thailand, who migrated from China during the 19th and 20th centuries.
Now she break the wood because she need for cooking. She need for make fire.
Observing their daily lives, I gained insight into the cultivation of rice across the mountainous region.
Very heavy. Rice very heavy. It rice leaf. It very light.
Rice harvesting is on par with the tourism industry in terms of the income generation for the country. But the process is very long and tiresome work for the Thai people who've been doing it for centuries. It starts in June with the rainy season, and this is when the rice begins to grow. And then in November, so now, the rice is cut and hit against the floor for the seeds from the top to fall, and inside those seeds are the rice grains.
The rice tree, the rice seed in here, separate. And this one? This one or separate. And the rice is stuck here. With the skin, you can do like that.
But as I say, I'm here in November, and the temperatures are very, very warm. So to think that these workers work from morning until night, cutting the reeds and shaking out these rice grains is extremely impressive work.
My next stop took me back into town to explore Thailand's world-renowned cuisine. I joined a traditional Thai cooking class, not really sure what to expect. While the experience somewhat pulled me back into the tourist trap which I'd managed to escape over the last week, the head chef was committed to sharing insights into local produce and the secrets of Thai culinary preparation, offering us an authentic taste of Thailand.
The skin, making curry paste. The skin.
Soon after, my journey carried me across into Vietnam. From the moment I stepped out of the airport in Hanoi, I stepped into the chaos of the city. Hostile sales tactics and the occasional scam seemed to follow me through the crowded streets. But despite tourism clearly fueling much of the city's economy, everyday Vietnamese life still thrived in the spaces between it all. Along the riverfronts, groups of friends gathered to dance. Others sat on tiny plastic stools playing over card games and sharing drinks as motorbikes hummed past. Still, I knew that if I stayed in the city, I might only ever see the version of Vietnam shaped by tourism. So I headed north, travelling towards the mountainous region of Hà Giang, one of Vietnam's poorest provinces. As we rode through the winding roads of the highlands, the contrast was striking. Each day we passed through villages that felt worlds away from the bustling streets of Hanoi. Many communities lacked basic resources, and medical care was often limited to traditional herbal remedies provided by a local healer within the village. Life here was simple and demanding. Many survived largely on corn, growing it themselves and selling what little surplus they could have to make a living. But what struck me most were the children. Although education is compulsory until the age of 18, I often saw young boys and girls walking barefoot along dusty mountain paths. Sometimes they were alone, carrying heavy bundles of firewood and buckets of water back to their homes. It was a humbling moment, one that made me realise just how sheltered my perspective had been so far. It was this feeling that ultimately led me to my next destination, where I had my most authentic experience yet. For 3 days I followed in the footsteps of Hua, a woman from the Red Dao tribe, an ethnic minority that settled in Sapa in the 18th century.
We are Red Dao and we are Buddhism. Before we come from China, long time ago.
Immersing myself completely in her culture and way of life, I experienced firsthand what it means to live as part of the Red Dao community.
We make in the sticky rice the cake, and we take the leaf like this, and after we make the cake, we do, you can see we do We do like this. After we push in the right inside, full like this, we can make the hole, and here we catch in the mix and put it with the cardamom seeds and put the stock together, and we put around, and then we open, and we close like this, and after we tie, we do like this. We do like this. The leaf, if we already cook, and then we hang it off like this. We can put like this, and the how we take out, we have to hang it off like this. Hello.
Hello.
And you're hiking in the bamboo forest?
Bamboo forest.
Yes, and nature in the bamboo. And
Nature in the bamboo.
yeah, in the bamboo, small bamboo, and then we made the baskets.
With the small bamboo you make baskets.
Yes, we make the baskets.
And are these the small bamboos?
Yeah, small bamboo. And we have bigger one, and we make the bamboo shoes.
Life here is simple, but for Hua and her family, simplicity doesn't diminish any joy. At the heart of their way of life is family. The youngest son remains in the family home caring for his parents. As a result, households often span 4 generations. Meals are prepared and shared communally around a wood fire, where stories and traditions are passed from one generation to the next. Roles within the family are clearly defined. Men are typically responsible for providing income through livestock and rice farming. Women, meanwhile, dedicate themselves to embroidery and concocting medicinal herbal remedies, an essential part of Red Dao identity and tradition.
We have my traditional, the medicine, the herbal bath, and the people, they want to come to stay in the village and they take a bath, medicine, the herb. Yeah, we have to sewing the micro, the way, and making the product, and mother, they teach and children, and the children, they teach the children also.
From a young age until marriage, a woman is relieved of all other duties, allowing her to focus entirely on creating 2 intricately embroidered outfits, which she'll wear for the rest of her life.
And every Dao, we have to learn when they're 13 or 12. After the 16, 17, we know every flower, we know how to make. When they go in the city, so they go back home, they have to make the clothes also. Every girl, they have to learn it, but sometimes they work but not sew. If they go back home, they have to sew it. The black hammock also the sewing, but different color and different flower.
It was only when I attempted the most basic stitch that I realised just how skilled this work truly was. Although Hua patiently kept faith in me for over an hour, my uneven line of stitching, growing headache, and very sore back made it clear that perhaps I wasn't quite suited to such expert craftsmanship.
Not wrong. Okay, not all wrong.
All wrong?
No.
Not all wrong?
Yeah, not all wrong.
Whilst companies like Ethos, the organisation I booked my trip through, provided benefits to both tourists and the protection of local traditions, the rise of globalisation poses a natural concern for local communities.
All the younger generation now, they go into school and they study, and they go to study for many years, and they come home, they kind of lose something. Sometimes they don't know how to plow in the rice paddies, or lots of girls, they don't know how to do embroideries yet, but we try to keep this on for the children now, and we try to make more and more for the children to keep our culture. I think lots of older people now is a bit worried about that, because everything is changed a lot, and now we have more tourism come, and everything is changed in the village, and now we have more people from the south, they move up here, and then they build the house, like big huge hotel like in the village, and so it's kind of sad about that also. But I think it's about 50 and 50, because also like lots of younger generation now, they can study and they understand more, and also it's good for their culture to have more job for the younger generation. But lots of older people, it's sad. They don't want to lose all the village or the mountain. In the touristy village, they make things off. They make up a lot of things only for tourists. So some of them is not really tradition anymore.
So where does that leave us as tourists? Companies might be changing the mindsets of local tribes, but it doesn't mean that we have to support them. It's up to us to decide which paths we take and what we support.
So for us, we try to go to the real family and to share in our cultures. And we want you also to learn from us. We're so happy to share to you, and maybe for us and also for the children to learn more, and for us don't losing our cultures.
While my choice was more challenging, it was precisely that challenge that broke the bubble of comfort in what I knew and opened my eyes to the beauty of our culturally diverse world.
But the fact that our histories, our experiences on the land that we live in, the weather, the religion has just shaped this like complex structure where the languages are different, the social norms are different, our view of the family is different. There's so much beauty in that. You can learn so much from other people, and it's just beautiful to like preserve those values and those priorities, because it's what makes people, it's identity. And identity is like a purpose and a meaning in life too. The value system of each culture is what contributes to the strength of humanity, because we have all of these different values and priorities in life, and you learn from everyone, all of them.
So how should we travel? Ultimately, that choice is yours. But if my experiences have taught me anything, it's that there's something truly extraordinary in stepping beyond the crowd and immersing yourselves in the lives, the culture, and the heritage of the people who call these places home.